That will be my lock of the week.
Texas A&M could be the #1 team in the country.
I think he's on the hot seat.
Bama's got to lock in down the stretch. Alrighty, welcome back, guys. Week 11 recap. As you can see, we got our basketball expert, Shep, is finally here. Welcome, Shep. Week
Excited to be
11
on.
recap. Yeah, he's excited to be on there. Week 11 recap. We got the heavy hitters. We're going to go over underdogs and some other games, locks only, war room. And then we're going to give you our top 25 college football playoff rankings. It's different from the AP poll. So always remember that the AP poll is different from the playoff rankings. The playoff rankings, once those are finally out now, and it's a weekly theme, that's the only rankings that matter. So we'll go over some games just from across the country here. What happened Friday, you had USC pulling out a win against Northwestern, 38-17. Houston got the win against UCF, 30-27. Memphis, they end up losing to Tulane at home. So Memphis drops to 8-2, 4-2 in the American. Tulane is 7-2, 4-1 in the American. We'll talk about the group of 5 bid later on there, who we think it's going to be. And then Saturday, Ohio State gets the win against Purdue. Everybody saw that coming. Indiana, close one to Penn State. We'll pull up that box score actually right now. Mendoza, 19-30, 218 in the air, touchdown, and a pick. Didn't really run the ball that well. Hemby there, 12 carries, 55 yards, and then it's kind of a split backfield there of Black and Hemby. Both had 12 carries. They got 2 rushing touchdowns, though. It's an interesting game there. I know a lot of people are going to say Indiana should drop now or Indiana doesn't look as good now. But, you're playing at Penn State, regardless of what their ranking is, I think that's still a really tough place to play. And if you actually watch the game and you don't pay too much attention to the box score, how Indiana performed there late in the game, executing critical plays, going down there, scoring the game-winning touchdown. It was a very impressive win. You got to do what you got to do to get a win, and a win is a win. We've said that multiple times on the show here, and we're not going to treat this differently than we would Alabama pulling out a win against South Carolina or other teams doing that stuff. So good win on their end. We'll go back here. Shep, do you have anything to add between Indiana or other games that we've gone over so far?
No, I don't. The only game I actually watched was the Oregon game, and that was an awful game because of the rain. Should they have won? No, but entertaining at the least. Being what final score is 16-15.
18-16 there.
It was 18-16 there. Yeah, that was the only game I got to really watch this weekend.
Yeah, it was still a good weekend of ball games. You got Ole Miss. They win against the Citadel. Knew that one was coming. Trying to think of Notre Dame beats Navy 49-10. California pulls off the overtime win there against Louisville. That's at Louisville too, 29-26. The ACC is in complete shambles right now. I don't think anybody's going to win that. That'll just end in a tie for that entire conference. Miami gets the win over Syracuse, 38-10, and then Wisconsin gets their first Big Ten win of the year here against ranked 23rd Washington, 13-10. Real ugly game there. But we'll go into the heavy hitter games now. We'll get Oregon and Iowa out of the way here. We already just mentioned it there. Let me pull up the box score. I had the weather completely wrong on this game. It changed last second there on me. Like Shep said, it was very wet, rainy. It was cold. Dante Moore, quarterback for Oregon, 13-21 for 112 yards. Threw a pick there. Oregon, they committed to the run game, which, you're kind of forced to under those elements. Winningham there, 17 carries, 118 yards. Didn't get a touchdown himself, but Hill Jr., he got the sole rushing touchdown for Oregon there. A lot of guys got carries in this backfield. You got Davidson, 8. Dante Moore had 4 himself, and then Hill Jr., 7. It's kind of a tough game to really look at the box score because of the weather there, but it's an impressive gutty win for Oregon there. Special teams was a huge factor in this game. Who did their kicker go? Went 3 for 3, long of 46 there. He definitely had some other field goals there. Oregon had a dominant run game, 261 altogether. What did they average? Look here. That's 7.3 yards per rush there. That's a very impressive stat line, and you're most likely going to win the game when you have that. Money down efficiency. Oregon was only 3 for 10. Iowa was 5 for 13. Iowa dominated time of possession, but the turnover battle is not where they got it. They had 2 turnovers compared to Oregon's 1. Penalty battle was kind of not too big of a thing. Oregon had 5. Iowa only had 1. What else do I got down for this game? Oh, Iowa's rushing side of it. Oregon's defense, that front box there, they held them to 2.3 yards a carry, and that's really hard to do. Really hard to do. It felt like this game was set up for Iowa to win. It felt perfect conditions. You're at home. You're at night. You're really forcing Oregon not to be able to run, the offense that they want to run with Dante Moore there. But I think this just proves that Oregon is a good team, and we had this down in the preview as a prove it game for Oregon, and I think they passed the test. I got Oregon still really high up there, along with everybody else. It was an impressive look. Schedule outlook for Oregon here. They still got Minnesota, USC, and then they go to Washington at the end of the year.
But USC's games would be scary. Just put that out there.
That's gonna be a good game. I think the Washington game. I think it's gonna be a track game, especially since Washington just lost to Wisconsin now and things aren't looking good. Oregon could overlook that. I doubt they will though. Dan Lanning's a pretty
Where's
good
it at?
coach.
It's at Washington.
It'll be at Washington. Yeah,
Gotcha.
they haven't came out with the time there, but it'll probably be a 3:30 if I'm willing to bet. Let's move on here. We'll do BYU and Texas Tech. We had this as the game of the week for us. It was a good game. It was a pretty slow start. It was a real defensive-minded game. Texas Tech, they really took care of business here. I'm not.
Wasn't much of a game. Texas Tech just blew them out of the water.
They did, but they got off to a slow start on offense. But you can do that when you have a great performance on defense. The Delta Bravo group, the DBs there, they had 7 pass deflections on defense. And Texas Tech moving forward, I know that Morton quarterback, he's banged up still, but I really think Texas Tech's missing their backup quarterback, which was more of the runner. He's out for the year. I think they just missed that dynamic of being able to throw him into the run game because, I mean, they only had 149 yards on the ground, and Dickey had 23 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown. That's fine. That's a good stat line, but teams are going to be able to hone in on that without having the backup quarterback to run the ball because Morton can't run the ball. He's definitely a pocket passer there. But the stadium
What's the rest of
atmosphere,
their season look like?
Texas Tech here.
Yeah. Because what, they have 2 losses now? They're 8-2, I believe. So
Yeah,
the record
Texas
is
Tech is 9-1.
9-1.
They all they have left is UCF at home, and then they go to West Virginia. So they should be able to handle business. They should win out. They shouldn't have any issues. They just got to keep stacking wins. This is also a really good special teams performance for them too. The Harrington kicker there, he went 5 for 5 on field goals. Let me pull up the play-by-play scoring plays. He had a 47-yarder, 27-yarder, 39, 29, and then 34. So good special teams. They dominate 3 phases of the game. You're going to win the game if you do that. I think whoever played this game at home was going to win this game because I still think BYU is a good team. I think it was an ugly offensive performance for them. It happens. The defense played great though. The defense did their job. You just can't expect them to hold the door for that long when your offense isn't doing anything. The offense did absolutely nothing. Did not do anything. They had 67 rushing yards. 67 rushing yards, and their quarterback led the team in carries. You can't have that. You can't have that. They started out, it was a good bend, don't break type of defensive game plan, and it was working. They were getting off the field. They were stopping Texas Tech. They had a goal line stop, I'm pretty sure, before halftime. That builds momentum, and then Texas Tech, they just made the halftime adjustments to win the game. And BYU moving forward, I know they got to go to Cincinnati November 22nd. Before that, they got TCU at home. Then they end the year on UCF. They got to find a run game moving forward.
God, you got to be worried about that Bearcats game.
That
A
should
lot
be a
of
good
money
game.
would be going on the Bearcats.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. We'll do Move on here to LSU at Bama. This was really felt like an old school battle between the two, but it was still a good game here. It was an ugly win for Bama, but like we mentioned with Indiana, win is a win. Uh, you find a way to win these games, and you just keep moving on here. Box score: Simpson was 21 of 35, 277 through the air and a touchdown. And then we got 56 rushing yards for Alabama, and then LSU has 59 rushing yards. Alabama still can't run the ball. It's a very big concerning issue for me as a fan of Bama, but I think just looking at Bama from the outside, it's a problem. You got to be able to run the ball. I mean, how many yards did they even? 2.2 yards per carry. You're not going to win a national championship, and you're not going to make a run in the playoffs doing that. You might not even finish the year without only one loss if you continue to do that, because you still got Oklahoma and Auburn, both two very good defenses. I thought Simpson played fine. It's turning into he's having to be Superman there, and you can't have that because Alabama's too good of a team to just have Ty Simpson force him to backpack. The run game is awful. It won't work. The defense has won. I think the past 2 weeks they've won the game for him. The defense has played amazing across the board. You got a turnover there, fumble recovery from the linebacker Green. That's a turnover. And then at the end of the game to shut the door, Yanze Pierre strip sack fumble. Defense is winning games for him, but that's what makes you a very good team is when your defense can go out there and slam the door, and you held LSU to 9 points. Yes, LSU is a dumpster fire right now. I'm not even going to really talk on them that much because, they don't have a head coach. They have an interim head coach. But anytime you hold a team, especially a conference opponent, to 9 points, it's impressive. Final thoughts for this game? Bama's got to lock in down the stretch. Like I said, they got Oklahoma at home. Then they got Eastern Illinois. Not even going to pay attention to that. And then they got to go to Auburn, which is one of the toughest places to play. And for LSU, I think they just need to find a way to salvage what little culture they have left. So when they do hire a new guy, he's got some ground to work with. You got to try your best to keep that roster intact because it's a talented roster. It really is. You got plenty of good recruits on that team, so try and salvage it and see what you can do with it. Do A&M at Missouri. Shep, any thoughts on LSU Bama? Anything to add before we move on here?
Nope.
Nothing? Okay.
Got nothing on that one.
A&M, Missouri. I picked Missouri this game completely wrong. Completely wrong at
Yes,
all.
you did.
Texas A&M just dominated the game. I think there could be an argument that Texas A&M could be the number one team in the country. There's definitely an argument for it. But box score here, Marcel Reed, 20 of 29, 221, and 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball as a team, 243 yards, with Ruben Owens leading the way, 13 carries, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then you got the dynamic wide receiver duo, Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. Craver, 6 catches, 59 yards. Concepcion, 4 catches, 84 yards, and added a touchdown. And the defense, it's just another team that just dominates all 3 phases of the game. And it's very impressive to watch. They're definitely the best team in the SEC. They're the favorite for a reason. I believe this is the first time in a really long time that they're 9-0 and 6-0 in SEC play. Missouri here, you're missing your starting quarterback. He's probably going to be out for the year. I doubt he'll come back. There's a slight chance he does, but I wouldn't at this point. You're 6-3. There's no reason to push him. I think if you have your starting quarterback, you definitely make this game a better game, and you give your shot a better chance at winning. Matt Zoller's, 7 of 22, 77 yards. He's a true freshman. He's talented. He's a true freshman. He's got to learn, got to make mistakes. We got the Diet Coke DC in there. We love that.
No free shout outs.
No free shout-outs. Missouri ran the ball here. They got 207 yards. Jamal Roberts and Ahmad Hardy both ran for over 100 yards. Both got 2 touchdowns. So you were able to run the ball, but your defense wasn't able to stop Texas A&M at all. Texas A&M 38-17. The best thing Missouri can do as a university is they've got to get a deal done with Drink, and you got to keep him there. If you let him leave, you're gonna have real big issues because
Who did
he's
you just say right there? Drink?
yeah. His name is Eli Drinkwitz, but nickname wise, everyone just calls him Drink, Coach Drink. You
That's a
got to
tough
keep him
man.
there because he's gonna be getting job offers. Texas A&M, you just got to continue to do what you're doing. Just keep winning games and see what you can do here. Any thoughts, Shep, before we recap locks and war room?
I'm good. I'm ready to go on to this part because I won. I'm a winner.
He is a winner. He is. Locks only here. Let me scroll up to it. Where's it at? There it is. We had Northwestern plus 14. Did not cover. Stanford plus 7.5 versus UNC. I actually have no idea. I'm going to have to look. I have no clue if that worked out or not.
Doesn't even know his own stats.
Where's it at? I should have just sorted by conference. North Carolina 20, Stanford 15. What did we have? 7.5. So that
Mhm.
covered. There's a
There you
win
go.
there in the locks only. And then Indiana minus 14.5. That did not cover. Locks only, pretty tough performance this week. We'll do better moving on for sure. War
Hmm.
room though, Shep is up 1-0. We both did not get a point from Mississippi State. I had Florida State money line. That did not work out. Shep had Houston, and Houston won. So Shep's 1-0, up 1-0. We'll say 1-0 in the War Room football audition there. Let's see what else we got. I guess we'll end the recap here with our top 25 here, college football playoff rankings. So what we got here: Ohio State at 1. Like I said, you can make an argument for Texas A&M there, but I'm still going to draw it back to Ohio State's defending champ. They haven't given anybody a reason to drop them. You're undefeated. You've taken care of business every game, so I think you should still be 1. We are bumping up Texas A&M to 2 over Indiana. I think Texas A&M has just been more impressive right now, and
They had a
Indiana,
great win this weekend, right? Texas A&M.
they did have a good win over Missouri there. Indiana, we got at 3. If you want to switch those two, I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just giving the bump to Texas A&M because I think they look better than Indiana right now. I think that's fair. We still got Bama holding down there the 4 spot. Behind there, Georgia at 5. Ole Miss at 6. That group of 3 there, I think they're locked in. You can't move Georgia up over Bama because Bama's got the head-to-head win. And you can't move Ole Miss over Georgia because Georgia's got the head-to-head win against Ole Miss. So those 3 spots locked down there from 4 to 6. And then 7, we got Oregon. Texas Tech, we got 8. I thought about giving the edge there to Texas Tech because they got that win over BYU. It's a top 10 win. But how Texas Tech looked and how Oregon looked, I think Oregon is a better football team. I really do. But, we could be wrong. Could be wrong. Notre Dame at 9. They were at 10 last week. Just moving up to 9 is what it is. They're going to make the playoffs because they're independent. They don't have a challenge the rest of the year. We got Texas at 10, Oklahoma at 11. I think Texas is the better team. They have the head-to-head over Oklahoma, so you can't move Oklahoma up over them. But if Texas loses here, they go to Georgia this week. They should lose that game. They could win. You never know. If they lose that game and Oklahoma beats Bama, Oklahoma, of course, is going to move up. So you just kind of got to wait and see how these things play out. We dropped BYU all the way to 12. I think that's fair. I don't think you're better than Oklahoma, Texas, Notre Dame. I think the Notre Dame BYU matchup, if you guys played right now, I think it'd be a good game, but you just lost, so you got to move down. That's how it works. We got Utah at 13. Can't move Utah over BYU because BYU has the head-to-head win there. Vandy, we move them up all the way to 14. Vandy could get in the playoffs here. They have a route. They don't control it, but there's a route. Vandy just has to win out and see what happens. But you're in a good spot there at 14. We got Michigan all the way up to 15. I believe they were at 18 or something. I can't remember, but we got them all the way up at 15. Georgia Tech there at 16. USC at 17. And then this trio of Virginia, Louisville, Miami of the 18, 19, and 20 spots. It's complete chaos in the ACC right now. I had no idea what I wanted to do here with this. It's just the fact of Louisville's got the head-to-head win over Miami. So Louisville has to be over Miami. And then Virginia's got the head-to-head win over Louisville. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check that. Yes, Virginia's got the head-to-head win over Louisville. And Virginia, Miami haven't played, but I think Virginia has the better resume right now. So I got them in 18, Louisville 19, Miami 20. And you got to watch out for Pitt. Pitt is at 21 for us. Pitt still has a very, very. I think they have one of the toughest routes here. Yeah, they still have Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami. We'll see if Pitt wins out, they're going to be in a great spot to make the playoffs. Pitt's at 21. At 22, we got Cincinnati. I don't understand the slander Cincinnati got after that loss. I guess I
That was a
do get
tough
it.
game. That was
I
a tough game.
It was. I guess I understand it,
I get it. I understand. It's already the ranked opponent.
but like
You can't count the Nebraska loss as that because Nebraska is awful now. You travel to Utah at 10 p.m. night game, traveling across the country.
yeah,
Started off slow and just never picked up any
agreed.
momentum at all. Sorsby only had what 100, somewhat 100 passing yards. Not what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
Wasn't Heisman watch before that game. Now he's out of it. So
it was ugly. But like you're for them to put, 6-3 Tennessee still in there, I don't think they should. Missouri can't be in there anymore. They're 6-3 also, and they've lost their starting quarterback. Cincinnati is still in. They're still in contention here.
yeah,
If they beat BYU and then win out the rest of the year, they still have a good shot.
yeah. Play Texas Tech in that Big 12 championship.
Yep.
If we battle with them, I think they would have to look at us, consider us,
I
at
don't
least
know
want a
if it.
consideration.
I don't know if it would be them in the championship. I think it would end up being. It might end up being a rematch there of Texas Tech and BYU, unless
It's true.
UC beats BYU. But then
So
Utah's
you got
got
to
the
win
head to
out.
head. See, that's the whole thing. So BYU has a head to head over Utah, but Utah has a head to head over Cincinnati. See, if Cincinnati beats BYU, then Cincinnati's got the head to head over BYU. So it's kind of a 3-way tie. I'm not
Hmm.
sure how it would end up working out, but regardless, if Cincinnati wins out, they're in a great spot, and I think they should still be ranked in the college football playoffs. You got Iowa at 23. As I said, Missouri 6-3, they should be out. Tennessee 6-3, they should be out. I struggled with putting Iowa here. I really did, because I still think Tennessee is a very good team. It's just the fact that maybe I should have put Tennessee in there. Why would I put Iowa here when they're the same record, 6-3? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think why I did that. I guess maybe the fact that you held Oregon into a close game.
What was Iowa's previous losses?
Let me look here. The Iowa was originally at 20 in the college football playoff rankings there. So they've lost to Iowa State, which that's a terrible loss now, which I understand. And they've lost to Indiana, and they've lost to Oregon. I think I remember why.
Two good losses. Iowa State was a good loss at the beginning of the season. They just went down the wrong track.
Maybe Tennessee does deserve to be in the rankings after all. Maybe they do. We'll sub that out there. We're going to put Tennessee in there because I do think Tennessee is the better team. So
Gotcha.
Tennessee is in there at 23 there. Let me fix that. And then we're going to move Iowa to 24 because we had Tennessee at 24. So we're just going to flip flop those. Tennessee at 23, Iowa at 24. And then we have James Madison University getting into the rankings here at 25 with
Dang, okay.
Memphis losing there. Let me pull up the conferences. So in the American, you have Navy, which we don't need to worry about Navy, because Navy's going to lose a couple more games. You got USF. They're sitting at 7-2, 4-1. Tulane is 7-2, 4-1. And then North Texas is 8-1, 4-1 in there. And then Memphis is now 4-2 in the conference. So all those guys, a couple of them, I believe, they still got to play each other. So I think that's kind of going to cancel each other out. But I think JMU, who's in the Sun Belt, I think they have the best route here to getting in because all they have App State, They do have Washington State, and then they go to Coastal. They should take care of business. I think they'll be the group of 5 to get in because they're just going to have a better record overall. So that's why we have them in there. So
I
that's our
like that.
top 25 there. Shep, anything to add here, football wise, before we dive into some basketball?
Bearcats money line this weekend.
Bearcats money line this weekend. We'd love to see it. Who did they play? Do you know?
BYU.
Is that this
Is it not
week?
BYU this weekend?
Let me
Or
look.
is that
Let me look week 12 here. I
might
think
be
it
following weekend?
is. It might be the next one. I think it's Arizona.
It's Arizona. All right.
I'm pretty sure it's Arizona. We're in the top 25. Big 12 here. Yep, they got Arizona at home. I like that. Should be that's actually going to be a good game. That'll probably be in our underdog game section.
Yep. I
Yep,
like that.
you see money line there. Alrighty, Shep, take it away here, basketball wise.
All right. Now we get to the more interesting stuff. Week one of college basketball. That's what we've all been waiting for. So this week, if there's one word to describe this week, I'm gonna say freshman. Because after watching all week, I don't think there was one freshman in the top 15 recruiting that had a bad game or did not impact any game they were in. So we'll go down the main list. I mean, I could have wrote down at least 25 off the top of my head that had great games, but opening day games, freshman wise, I'll give my top four performances. We're going to obviously go with BYU kid AJ Dabatse, however you want to say that. Had 21 points. Obviously, he's number one recruit. $7 million in NIL to go to BYU. It's kind of crazy in my opinion, but obviously, week one games they don't play anybody, so they were supposed to look good. He had a great game. I love the Arkansas duo freshman of Darius Akov and Malik Thomas for Arkansas. Like I said, they looked amazing. Both had 20. Big win over whoever they played, so nobody. You also have Trey McKinney out of Michigan, who literally shot the lights out of the gym. I think it was the second half. He shot a layup that turned off the lights, so it's pretty cool to watch. Caleb Wilson, which is my favorite freshman to watch for UNC, had a 22-point outing, shooting 80% from the field, which is almost unheard of for a small forward in college basketball. It's really impressive. And then also have some underdog freshmen that most people didn't have up there, recruiting wise. I want to butcher these names. Most of them are foreign. We got Haynes Stainback from Washington, a 6'11 power forward that had a near triple double, 21, 7, and 6. He looked super impressive in his outing. He came from somewhere in Europe, I believe. He's playing Euro ball against grown men. So that was fun to watch that. Obviously, I'm a Cincinnati guy. Sean Abab had 18 points and a good win in their outing. Really high hopes for him and the UC Bearcats this season. Also, want to shout out Colorado's point guard and Isaiah Johnson, 24 points. I really like this kid. His dad's an NBA trainer, trained a lot of pros, going to be pros, and he had a great performance for Colorado. I see him moving up in draft stocks a lot. So he's my number one underrated freshman to watch this season. So then we're going to get into team performances for week one. Obviously, day one, you got to talk about Boise State. Not many people were actually watching this game, but if you did, it was a great game because they lost to a non D1 school from Hawaii, which is almost unheard of. D1 school is called Hawaii Pacific, has only about 500 kids that go to the school that play sports, and their school is literally built in a strip mall in Hawaii. It was
Really?
really impressive. Did you watch that game?
I didn't, but I remember.
Hmm.
I remember when you texted me about it. I looked it up on ESPN, and they don't even have a team doesn't even have a logo on
Yeah,
ESPN. It's kind of funny.
it's it was funny. I watched the highlights of that game, and I kind of rewatched the first half, and it was I mean, it was a fun game to watch, but nobody was actually watching it. The
Yeah,
one bad thing about that, which I think is complete bull, that it doesn't go against Boise State's record at all, just because it was a non-conference game, first game of the season.
yeah,
So technically, Boise State is 1-0 with
that should
their
count.
one win this weekend.
That's
But
crazy. That should
the
count.
committee will be looking at that during the playoffs, and obviously they won't. No one was going to have them in the playoffs in March, anyways. But
Yeah,
I did want to shout that out. That doesn't go against their record. That needs to be fixed in NCAA. I didn't even know that was a rule.
yeah, that's
But
a pretty dumb rule.
yeah, but yeah, the freshmen this week were absolutely stored, just incredible. I don't think I've seen a freshman class that's ever done something like this before. I think you talk to anybody that knows ball, they would say the same thing. It
Yeah,
was
no, it
really
was
fun to
very
watch.
it was very impressive. All the freshmen. I agree.
Mm,
I haven't seen a freshman class this strong. You got it seems like every big school's got some freshmen or multiple freshmen that are popping off right now. So it'd be fun to
yep.
watch the rest of the year for sure.
Can't wait. Can't wait. So I'm gonna go over the big games, bigger games, games that I liked, games that I watched over the whole week. Give a summary on those. Obviously, the first one we're going to talk about is Arizona, Florida. That is actually my game of the week. That was for open day college basketball. You can't get much better than that. You have the defending national championships with the Florida Gators coming in. I know they lost a lot of key pieces, a lot of key seniors to the draft, but they also had, I believe, one or two top recruiting class, getting kid from Harvard, Xavier Lee, and then also Boogie Fland to help their backcourt that got drafted.
Yeah, they had a good
Everyone,
transfer portal class.
everyone in the nation pretty much thought Florida was going to win this game. They did not think Arizona was going to compete, and I was one of those people. I'm not a very big Arizona fan at all when it comes to college basketball because they never end up doing anything with the recruits. But that game proved me wrong, and I'm hopping on the Arizona bandwagon because there was one name I left out for freshman was Keo Pete because he had a near 30-point triple double in their win over Florida.
Wow.
And if you were to actually watch that game, he looked like just a young LeBron going out there catching lobs, doing everything he had to do to win this game. It was incredible to watch. I think it was
Let me pull up
second
that
half.
stat line.
Yeah, second half with about 6 minutes. He came down the floor. He got a big defensive stop, and you can physically see him tired, like walking down the court. Gets the block, comes down the court, and Avery Bradley, which is a very underrated senior point guard, throws him an oop, which kind of put them up 8 and had to call a timeout, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin. Florida just couldn't answer, couldn't stop the physicality of Arizona.
Yeah, that was a very fun game to watch here. Looking at the
Mm,
box score here, yeah, they got a nice duo there of Co Pate, however you pronounce his name, and then Jaden Bradley there. Pate had 30 points, 11 of 18. Bradley there with 27, 9 of 14. I've
yeah,
watched Jaden Bradley when he was a freshman at Bama. He's a very dominant physical ball handler. He loves to attack the rim, and he's still continuing that at Arizona.
mhm,
He's a very good ball player. Arizona's going to be a good team to watch out for. If they keep
yep.
that performance up, they're going to be very fun. I'm pretty sure they got that big man they got too. What year is he? Trying to. Do you remember his name, Shep? Yeah,
I do not off the
it's
top of my
it's
head.
it's Kravis. He's a junior. He's the 7'2" guys from Lithuania.
Mhm,
He's a very solid player too for them.
yeah, I do want to shout out Jane Bradley. That kid's going to be one of the top point guards in the class.
Oh yeah,
This week proved it. I think he also had another 20-point game. Second game this season, him and Keo Pete, they're going to be dangerous when it comes to March Madness time. But
yeah.
on the Florida side, no, go ahead.
Would you like Jaden Bradley here and how Arizona, like he's really not a shooter. Like he didn't even
No.
attempt a 3-point shot there. So like I mean, moving forward there, how do you think when teams start to sit off of him and maybe force him into the paint to try to make him cause turnovers and all that, you think that's going to be something to watch out for Arizona moving forward? Because I mean, freshmen they're known. I know Pate on the other end there. Do you think he's going to be able to carry that offense?
There's a lot of games this week where we'll get into that defensive schemes. I wanted to talk about that because there's two other games, top matchups that kind of played like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Arizona, especially, I think they're going to do fantastic. Avery Bradley, if you watch that, Avery Bradley didn't have to shoot threes because Keo
Yeah.
Pete, they run a pick and roll. It's constant moving, just pick and roll offense, and Keo Pete will open up so much space for them. Keo Pete doesn't even shoot the ball. I don't think he maybe shot two threes that game.
No, he
But
didn't even attempt one
yeah,
actually. Wow.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they only
Even simple.
attempted as a team. They were only 2 for 5. They only took 5 3 pointers there.
It's because they didn't have to. It's because
Yeah.
Florida kept on sagging off, begging them to shoot, and they just went right through them. And then on the Florida side, I mean, that's a tough matchup. That was a great game. I think Florida's still going to be a great team in March. It's a good loss early to learn
Oh
from your
yeah.
mistakes. The reason they lost that game was just because of the two guards, Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee, both transfers.
Yeah.
And you're going
So,
to have that when you have two transfers.
do you think Florida's going to be able to fill that role of what was his name from last year? The point guard. I'm completely blanking on it. He was their best player.
He was the kid that transferred from what is it?
Iona.
it
It was Patino's.
yeah, Iona. It was Clayton
Yeah,
Jr.
Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah, Ron Clayton
Do
Jr.
you think they can fill that role with the guards that they have right now with Boogie Flan? Because that I assume that's going to be
Mhm.
Boogie Flan's going to be the true point guard there.
Yeah, Xavier leaves the two. I actually really like how they were substituting in and out. They ran two small guards. Obviously, Xavier leaves only 6'2", and Biggie Flan's only 6'2", so they ran two small guards. But they got out Biggie Fland early and let Xavier handle it, and then they subbed him out like that, which I like it. It's a good, but it's a completely different team from last year. Obviously, Walter Clayton Jr. was a 6'5", shoot the lights out of the gym kind of player. And then they also had their small forward that was transferred out of Atlanta Pacific. He was part of that national championship run when they made it to the Final Four. He was a
Yeah,
fifth year senior. I forget his name, but when you have
yeah.
two people like that, two senior guards like that, that's hard to replace in college basketball. But I do have high hopes for Zeron Lee and Boogie Fland. I think they do figure it out. It's just their coach has to figure out it's just a different team. You need to find a different
Yeah,
offensive scheme. They
I,
try to do the same thing as last year and just it's just not the same team.
they're going to have to run it through the front court because I mean they still
Mhm.
got their front court. They got Chinulu, Howe, and Condon are
Their
still
front
back.
court is I think they have the best front court in the country. I
Oh yeah,
mean, I'm pretty sure besides Zeron Lee, Boogie Fland, everyone else is 6'9" plus. That
yeah,
front court is scary. And then I mean their center had 20 something points and he was fighting. He was hitting setback threes, doing everything he could do to
yeah.
get him back in the game.
Howe there he had 29
Hmm.
there. See, I don't even know who they. It seems like all three of them kind of can do it all there. You know.
Yeah, they. I'm not worried about Florida at all. I think that's a good loss early to have to figure out the weaknesses. And
Yeah.
I'm really high on their coach after what I saw last year.
What other games we got moving on here?
So yeah, so I'll go to the other games here. Second game, I do want to shout out Auburn. Their first game of the season, they almost lost to. Hold on one second. Pull this up.
I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, Auburn played Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, which I believe is a D2 school, which was 95 to 90. But if you actually watch that game was you could almost bet Bethune-Cookman was going to win that game. But later on in the game, Keyshawn Hall, which I believe is one of the top three guards coming out of college basketball, he just put the team on the back and got the win.
Who?
So that was a scary. It was
Keyshawn Hall? Is that who you said? Okay.
Keyshawn. Yeah, Keyshawn Hall.
Is he a transfer for them, or has he
Yeah,
always
he's a
been there?
transfer from UCF. He
UCF.
started off at UNLV. He was a three-star recruit coming out. He was big guard, 6'7".
Yeah.
I really like him a lot. He's averaging 20 points, 5 assists, something like that throughout the week.
Hmm.
Really high hopes for him, but that's a rough start for Auburn. They did pick up another win in their
Yeah.
second
They
game.
they killed whoever that was.
Yeah, so it was a shaky start, but they looked better in the second game. But people did project him to have a very good season with him and then Todd Pettiford returning. Todd Pettiford was on the watch list for one of the best sophomores coming up in the country. He's been doing pretty well too, but he had a rough start in that first game.
Yeah, he went 4 for 13 there, but
Mm.
shouldn't be worried
If
about him. Auburn's going
nah,
to have a good team. I think
yeah,
me as a Bama fan, I think Stephen Pearl, the son of Bruce
yep.
Pearl there, I'm terrified. I'm
Mm.
terrified because
I shot Steven. Yeah, I'm
he's a
shot not
young,
Stephen Pearl.
aggressive coach. Auburn's they've always had a solid even
Hmm.
it's always been a good basketball team.
I liked Stephen Pearl's offensive scheme too during that first game. Obviously, it's first year coaching is
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen in your first game. You're just going to have
yeah.
some up and downs when your players don't perform. But keep an eye on them. And then the second game I want to talk about will be we can either do your Bama or we can do UNC Kansas. I'll let you decide.
We'll start out. We can only
Because
do. I
both
can
are
only.
fantastic games.
How about we do UNC first, and then we'll do Bama.
Gotcha.
Who did
Yeah,
UNC play?
UNC played Kansas,
Yep.
and then you have the two top five recruits in Caleb Wilson, and then probably the best freshman in the country, Darren Peterson. Watching that game, that was an electric game. You
Hmm.
playing at Tar Heels, all white, crowd was electric. It was a really fun game to watch. Summary of that game, North Carolina just wanted it more. You could
Yeah.
see it. They just won the physical battle. And then Obviously, you got shout out Caleb Wilson, 24 points, 7 rebounds. He was the X factor in that game. He had a comment on Instagram, which I really liked. He had Darren Peterson on his background on his phone as motivation because he was ranked above him in recruiting class. So that chip on his shoulder, you could see it out there. He was diving for loose balls, dunking on everybody, getting every rebound. That kid's special. Turnaround jumpers too. He's going to be one of the tougher ones to
Was he there
guard
last
this
year?
year. Now he's a freshman.
True freshman.
Hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a very exciting game. North
Hmm.
Carolina they look very good. They look very
North
good too.
Carolina right now is my favorite team in the country. It's my number one after week one. Watching what they did against Kansas. Kansas is going to be a
Yeah.
good team too. That kid is insane. That kid is going to be special. He will probably be the number one pick. He had a rough outing. He had a rough outing and still had 22 points.
Yeah. Eight for
Hmm.
14 there.
Yep.
3 for 5 from the line there.
Hmm. You could try. Kansas runs their offense through him. That's the one thing about Kansas which I'm kind of scared for.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to make the tournament. They always do. Do they ever do anything? No. I'm not a big Kansas supporter. But
Yeah.
with a kid like that, if you can't get him open, or you can't run plays with him, they won't win another game this year. They try to. In this matchup, he had Seth Tribble on him, which Seth Tribble, one of my favorite guards to watch, just because he's about 6'3", 6'4", stocky guard. Probably the worst matchup for Darren Peterson all year. He
Yeah.
just played him super physical. Every screen he was on him, didn't let him get loose at all. And every time he went out, that's when Darren Peterson scored. So that's why I say a rough 22,
Yeah.
because when Seth Tribble was in the game, he wasn't getting shots up.
Hmm.
And the Kansas also has a great backcourt. I forget the other point guard they have. He's a good transfer. No, he's been
Seth
there for a while. Was it?
Seth Trimble maybe?
No, Kansas backcourt.
Oh,
It
we're
was Darren
talking Kansas.
Peterson.
Trey White.
Hmm. Yeah, Trey. No, what's the other one too?
We got Trey White. We got Melvin Council Jr. That be him, or is it somebody off the bench?
Read the names off to me.
We got Bryson Tiller. He had 12 points. He's a
Bryson
big
Tiller is
man.
another one from OTE. He had an awful game. If you would have made any one of his threes, you would have helped out. But
About Marco Jackson.
that's what it is, Marco Jackson. Marco Jackson came in for Darren Peterson in the second half. It was him running the one, Darren Peterson to the two,
Yeah.
and Marco Jackson just couldn't get it going. Didn't have any help from the offense.
Yeah.
So if Kansas can figure out somewhere to get Darren Peterson more involved, more off-ball screens, let him be him, I think Kansas will be fine. I don't think they're going to be a national championship contender. That's just my opinion.
What
You
about in
can't
terms of the
rely on
Big
a
12 there? Do you think they can win the Big 12?
Big 12 talk is hard for college basketball because it is the best conference. You can literally flip a coin, you don't know who's going to win. But in the Big 12, my favorite team it has to be Texas Tech. I'll read off the stats. JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, two of the best backcourts or front court backcourt in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, JT Toppin, he didn't play game one. They still won. Game two, he came in, dropped 31 points and 14 rebounds. He's probably going to win National Player of the Year just because he is a senior. Should have got drafted last year, should have went in, but obviously dropping 31 and 14 in return. It's a great start. And you got Christian Anderson, kid from Germany, plays for the German national team. He had 22 points in their first game. No, he actually had 31 points in the first game
Hmm.
when JT Toppin didn't score, and he looked legit too. That's going to be a scary team to play in the March. So
About
I'm really high
Houston,
on
do you think
them.
Houston's still strong?
Houston's Houston every year. Houston has always a lot of seniors. They have a great freshman center this year. He had a good outing too. I forget
Chris
what he had.
Chris
Yeah,
Knapp
Chris.
Jr.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's gonna be good. I always like Houston. They're just gonna play defense. They're just
Yeah.
defensive minded team.
Yeah.
If you look at last year's performances, should they have won it? Yeah, it was a 3-point shot that Sharp should have shot. Didn't shoot it. Dribbled on the ground.
He's still
Not
there.
saying yeah, fourth year, fifth year, whatever it is.
It's got to be a fifth year. It's got to be.
Fifth year. Yeah, I'm always high on Houston. I like Ralph. He's a great coach.
Yep.
You can never count them out. They're kind of like Michigan State. I always compare those two. Him and Izzo have the same scheme. They're just going to lock you up and they're going to make you beat them.
Yeah. Michigan State, they
So
had a good win against Arkansas there
I was going to talk
Saturday.
about that one. That's going to be the fourth game we talk about because I want to talk about them.
Yeah, we can talk about them now.
Now let's go over to your Bama because I do want to talk about Bama. I got to give a shout out. I had in this game, not that I hate
Yeah.
on Bama because of Luke, but I did have St. John's winning because I am a huge Rick Pitino supporter. Huge love the old guys. I love the old guys of college basketball. I like a team. St. John's, obviously the last year run with Rick Pitino didn't end how they wanted to end, but still a great team. And this year they were reloaded with Ian Jackson coming in. They have a great power forward, just a great all around team. But as me and Luke talked about before the game, it's two different teams playing, and if one played into their scheme, they were going to win. And that St. John's played into Bama's scheme.
Oh yeah.
I thought St. John was going to just sit down, play their game, not shoot any threes. It was going to be a low scoring game. But Bama just got to shout them out. They
They were
just,
forcing those
what?
big guys to take those shots.
Yep.
And they
They
started hitting
literally,
them there at the end, but
mhm.
it's
In the
still not
first
St.
half, if
John's game.
you watch that game, Bama's defensive scheme was literally three steps back
Yeah.
on everybody,
Mhm.
literally on everybody, just begging to shoot. In St. John's, if St. John's would have made it, what? Look at how many, what were their 3 point percentage was.
3-point percentage, they were 35%. They were 6 of 17. I'm not
Mhm.
used to seeing St. John's, attempt 17 3-point shots.
That's what I'm saying. It's because they were
Yeah.
just forcing them to take it. I mean, on a that's why basketball's fun. On a lucky night, if they hit three more threes, that's a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
different ball game. But
Yeah.
that's how you have to play St. John's this year.
Hmm.
And if they can't make any threes, it's going to be scary. It's not going to be like you were
Well,
saying about the Arizona comment with QOP and Bradley.
yeah.
That's just a different. They have a different offensive scheme to
Yeah.
where they can hit the three if they need to. But St. John's, Ian Jackson, I love him. Great on ball defender. He's not really a true point guard. He's a shooting guard. Tall. He's athletic freak, but he can't shoot. That's just and they just abuse that. Same
Yeah.
thing with their small forward from Providence, transferred in Hopkins,
Yeah.
played at Kentucky, went to Providence. He was supposed to be their guy, their small forward. I'm pretty sure he was on the watch list for National Player of the Year. I mean, he took most of his probably half their threes and just didn't hit them.
Yeah. Well, the one dude, the Zuby, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Hmm. Their
We'll say
center,
a
their
lot.
center
I
is
think it
great.
was like I think they pronounce it like Okafor, Elijah for there. He had
Hmm.
an insane game. He went
Yeah,
2 for 3 from the 3-point line.
he was the only one that was really competing on the offensive end, helping
Yeah.
St. John stay in the game.
He
But
was a
you
very
also
physical presence.
on the Bama side, you got to shout out your boy
Phylon?
Phylon. I mean, if you were to watch any game this week and pick a player that impacted most, Phylon was probably that guy.
I mean,
He had the
he's
ball in his hands
he's an NBA
probably
guy
85%
playing
of the times.
college basketball right now.
Yeah, he should have went in last year. Even the announcers were saying that. He said just want to get one more year under his belt. I mean,
He's
now
going to
looking
be a
back on
lottery
it,
pick now.
yeah, looking back on it, it's a smart move because as of right now he's a top five pick. That kid is. I mean, he was just making tough shots, ISO ball. They probably ran everything out of him. Every
Oh
time they
yeah,
went out of the game,
100%.
St. John's would make a run, then he'd come back in, and then they would be up nine again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you got Phylon had a great game. Aiden Holloway, he played a
mhm,
great game as well. And then Wrightsall off the bench played a great game. Excuse me there. It's the backcourt for Alabama. It's very strong right now, but
mhm,
there's definitely you can tell that there's definitely they miss Grant Nelson in the front court.
yeah,
They got the transfer from Florida State there, Taylor Bolbo in there.
yep,
I'm confident he can fill that role. It's just really giving him experience to fill that role. Because I don't believe in Florida State they really, gave him the ball in his hands, let him go off the
yeah,
dribble that much. So he's got to get more comfortable with it. But and this has been the case with Alabama for all of Nate Oates' team is they really haven't had a true dominant big man since Bediako left. Aiden
mhm,
Sherrell, he's a big physical body there. He's probably around 7 feet, 250, but he's not really athletic and he can't really run that much. They got Noah Williamson, the transfer from I forget, but it was from the Patriot League. He's a 7 footer also. He's kind of the
yep,
same thing. Not really athletic, can't run. So there's definitely a big hole there in the front court, but I'm confident that they can get it figured out because their freshman class, it's like a trio there of freshmen. They got Amari Allen, Jemison, Davion Hannah. Those guys, they play fast, they play hard, and they
Mm.
give a lot of effort. And Amari Allen, he's at the front of that. He's definitely the best freshman that we have. He fills out the entire stat sheet. He had the most rebounds on the team, and he's a freshman. He's 6'8" there.
I like Bama after watching that. You guys play AAU ball. It's just we're going to
Yeah,
play fast. We're going to shoot everything that's open, and we're going to score 100 points again. I'm pretty
yep,
sure they had the highest over total last year when betting overs, just because they would do the same thing. So it's a fun team to watch. But
yeah, it is for sure.
mhm.
It is. Do you
then
think
we'll get.
Bama, in terms of rankings, do you think that pops them up into the top 5 or top 10?
They will be top 10 for sure. Top five maybe be too far. The one thing with rankings
Yeah,
with college basketball, they really don't matter if you're in the top 25. That's
yeah,
why basketball is basketball. You can
yeah,
flip a coin, any team can win. So
yeah.
it's
That's fair.
as long as they're in that top 25, you make March, it's anybody's ball game. So I wouldn't be too worried about rankings. If I were to predict them, they will probably end top eight at the end of the year if they keep on playing the way they do.
Yeah.
No injuries. I know Phylon, something else about Phylon is that he hit the floor in the second half and he was bleeding. He was yelling, bleeding. I thought he tore his ACL. I even texted Luke, there goes your guys' season. And then he goes out, takes a sip of water, comes back in the game. I think that should be a technical foul or something in college. I hate
No,
that. I hate that. This is it's like what
no.
football does when somebody goes down, like one of the linemen go down just because they're tired. Can't be doing that. I get it, the kid. He's
Yeah,
legit. And I would do the same thing if I was out there, but
just
can't
needed a
be.
break. That's all.
Yeah. It's just
After watching Bama, like, and just talking strictly SEC here,
mm,
do you think Florida is still the favorite in that conference? Because I mean,
I
the
do.
SEC is
I
going to be a
agree.
gauntlet again. You got
Yeah.
Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky. I like Ole Miss a lot. Um, what is it, Chris Beard there? He's still the
Yep.
coach there.
Hmm.
I think Ole Miss, they had a solid year last year. I can't remember if they made the tournament or not,
I
but
don't
they're not
know
even
about Ole
ranked yet.
Miss. They lost their front court, Ole Miss. So
Yeah,
and they had a great front court from last year. Um,
got Tennessee
I would
and
say for the SEC side, obviously Big 12 and the SEC are the top conferences when it comes to basketball.
SEC's better. Let's be real. Let's be real.
That's absolutely outrageous. Big 12 has owned basketball for since basketball has been alive.
But we got
But
SEC's got
SEC
a little
has
better.
been on the come up. SEC in the past 5 years, the SEC has looked fantastic. So I can't. I'm high on the SEC for basketball, but Big 12 is the best. There's no doubt.
What
We're not
about
gonna have that argument. That could be a different podcast. We have that argument.
what do you think? Do you want to do a little quick jump through all these conferences since we just talked about the SEC there?
Yeah, we'll come back to the other two games.
Okay, Big East here. You got UConn, Creighton, of course, St. John's, Marquette, Xavier. I think the Big East is down this year. I don't.
I do. Yes, I would say the same thing.
I don't see any dominant team coming out of this. I think maybe I think St. John's
Dominant
has the
team.
best chance.
Let's relax here. The first team you named, UConn, as
It's not the UConn of old there. It ain't back to back UConn though.
I will. I plan on talking about UConn later, but we can talk about UConn right now. UConn, I'm pretty sure the last game they played, they held their opponent to 17 points in the first half.
I didn't know that.
Yep,
Yeah,
in the
that's pretty
first half.
impressive.
It's definitely a more defensive-minded team this year. I like UConn a lot. You never count out Dan, psychopath, my favorite coach of all time.
I bet he was still screaming after
He
holding
was.
them to
He was
17
mad. He,
points.
he was yelling at them going to the locker room, which I love. I love Dan Hurley. It's just
He's a
when you
good
have a
coach.
coach like that, you can't not be great.
Yeah.
Cannot be great. But
No,
yeah, the
I
Big
I
East
agree.
is it's UConn and St. John's. Creighton's in there. Creighton's a sneaky team always. Uh,
They've had to reset that roster though, right? Didn't they
mhm.
lose?
Yep, they lost pretty much everybody. So it's
They did.
almost a
Wow.
new. Yeah, they lost Nemhard, and then their 7'4" or 7'3" guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, I
Playing for the
forget his name
Hornets
too.
now. But they're still
Yeah.
ranked high. They still have a good team. They got a good transfer portal. I wouldn't say they could compete in the Big East just because it's so weak this year. But after watching St. John's, if they can't get their things figured out from the three line,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can compete with UConn. I mean, Marquette's not the same team because they lost their superstar point guard. Forget his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah,
But
no, exciting white there. He's in the NBA.
mhm.
Whatever his name was. What about Xavier here? Xavier got a shot.
I like to keep a no bias on the show, as you know, no bias at all. I think
I think
Xavier's
we
not
can
going to
keep a
win a
no
game this
bias.
year.
I think we can keep that unless we're talking about Xavier.
I hate
Um,
Xavier. I hope they don't win a single game. I genuinely don't think they will have a good. I don't think they have a good team this year. That's the one team I don't. I refuse to watch. No bias.
for everybody listening, we are from Cincinnati, and
Mhm.
me and Shep, we do root for UC basketball over Xavier. That's the whole rivalry in Cincinnati. Is a crosstown shootout.
Yep.
You either grew up, you came out of the womb, and your parents told you you were a Xavier fan, or you're a Cincinnati fan. And I'm
Yep.
thankful that we're both Cincinnati fans in this
Yep.
aspect.
Even though they've had us in the past
We
eight
won the
years,
fight
they
though.
have.
So,
This year we're
but
going to win again. I'm going to that game. Can't wait. But yeah,
where's that at? Is that at Xavier?
it's at Xavier this year. I
Gotcha.
will be unfortunately attending, going
Should be all
to
right.
Xavier, but we will win that game. I'll be putting a lot of money on that game. That will be my lock of the week whenever that comes
Lock of
around.
the week. All right. Where do you want to go from here?
You want to talk about the other conferences, or do you want to go?
Yeah, yeah, no, we can do other
Mhm.
conferences. What conference? Uh, I mean, do we want to do? Have we really gone over the Big 12? I mean,
You want to? Yeah, you can read off the Big 12. I don't think we went super deep in depth on that.
so we'll leave out. We've already talked about Houston. We've already talked about Arizona, and we've already talked about Kansas,
Texas
uh,
Tech too.
Texas Tech. So like, still here, you still got Iowa State. Iowa State's ranked.
Iowa
Um,
State has their I forget the guard's name.
is he back?
Yep,
Did that roster stay intact? Really?
I believe so. I can
Okay, that's
look it
shocking.
up for me real quick, make sure
I think it did
because they're
stay.
still ranked 16th. So
I don't know. They might have lost that one dude. I forget his name. He's their best player last year, right?
yeah, it was their point
Yeah, I
guard.
don't think
No,
he's
he
there
got
anymore.
drafted. Nah, he got drafted.
Yeah.
He's right, but they're
So you
still
got
ranked
Iowa
16th.
there,
Where I'm looking at.
Iowa State.
Mhm.
BYU's, of course, they got AJ. They're going
They
to
got
be.
AJ. They're going to be one of the better teams with him and Rob Wright. They also got a super good big. I can't think of his name. He's been there for the past couple years. BYU is going to be a contender in the Big 12 if AJ plays to his hype, which he has so far.
But that's the
Start of the
thing
season.
with if you're if you're going to be a freshman led team, at some point, his bad game is going to happen. I feel like we've seen that with Duke for many years, where they take that route of being a freshman led team and then they get to the tournament and they don't have the experience. At some point, AJ will have a really bad game. I don't think they're going to make a lot of noise, to be honest with you. I don't think
I,
so.
I would counteract the argument just because this freshman class is we have not seen something like this
Like you saying, it's
probably in
better than
forever.
like the Zion Williamson class year or
Yeah,
the Cooper
I
Flag
I would
class year.
yep, I would say that. I mean,
Really,
every top 15 recruit this past
I'll
week has had a great game.
I'll trust you. You're our
Mm.
basketball expert here. I'll trust you. What about
So
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, great game one win. Not even want to talk about that. Uh, Second game of the year scared me a little bit. Georgia Southern. No, Georgia
Georgia
State.
State
It was
there,
Georgia State. I apologize.
74-64. Oh, it's
Georgia
close.
State's Georgia State's good in their conference. I don't know what conference they're in, but
Yeah.
after watching them, that was a good team we played. We obviously played bad. Sean didn't
Mhm.
have one of his good games.
I'll
Me
tell
and
you what,
Wes
though.
Miller have a very me and Wes Miller have a love-hate relationship as of the moment. I think he's on the hot seat if we don't do good this year. I think he should get fired.
Yeah.
But
I
it was
feel
a
like
rough
that's a fair
second
statement,
game.
though. It's a definitely fair statement to say that about
Mhm.
Wes Mayer. He's a unreal recruiter,
Yep, that's why I
but
love him.
at least my side of things, I think he is very below average when it comes to X's and O's. And
X's and O's, I don't think he knows anything. I think
he's
whoever's
a
on his
great
bench tells
somebody.
him
Yeah.
what to do. Yeah. Great energy guy, great recruiter.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, this the transfer there that they got, Bob Miller,
I was
um,
going to talk about him after watching that second game against Georgia State. He looked great.
he
He
runs the floor really well for being
long,
6'11".
lengthy. I mean, the kid, he might be special. If Sean
Yeah.
doesn't have a good game, which he didn't, Baba did exactly what he was supposed to do. Came
And
in,
I feel
dropped
like
20 points.
that's a good little duo there. Bobe
Yep.
Miller there at 6'11", and then the transfer from UCF there at 7'2".
Hmm.
Uh, Thiam, well,
Yep.
maybe that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's definitely a better front court than what they've
Mhm.
had in the past years for sure.
Yeah. But on their outlook, obviously, a huge UC guy. I want to say they're going to go all the way this year. But I think realistically, we make the tournament.
Yeah,
Not, do I see us going far? Maybe if Abab comes out and shoots the lights out, has 30 points a game, but that's probably the only way we do anything special this year.
like do you think
But
they could contend in the Big 12 there to get to the Big 12 championship or win?
the teams that you named above us, I mean, we got to go through Texas Tech, Kansas,
Hmm.
Baylor, even Baylor's a sneaky team. I mean, I hope we do. That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
hope we do.
That's fair. There's the Big 12 there. Let's see what else. I mean, do we even
You can talk
do
about the ACC.
ACC? Okay,
Hmm.
you got
That'll be the
Duke, of
last one we talk about.
course,
Shout out
Louisville.
Duke with the Boozer Twins. These
Yeah,
Boozer Twins, that's fun to watch, especially with Carlos
they.
being on the sidelines there.
You think he's better than Cooper?
No, he's not better than Cooper, not for sure. Cooper was a one-man wrecking ball.
Yeah, he
Duke's got a
was.
great team this year. I like Duke. I like watching them. They got a lot of freshmen.
Yeah,
Boozer Twins are obviously fun to watch. I don't think I've ever seen two twins that are good on the same team. So
I would second that. Yeah, they are fun to watch. You also got Louisville there.
Louisville's a
Um,
sneaky team. They we'll talk about
they're-
that later, but they have a great matchup this week with the Kentucky. Obviously, that's their X game. So crosstown shootout, Louisville and Kentucky. It's a great rivalry in college basketball. We'll get in that
gotcha.
later, though.
What about NC State there bringing in Will Wade
I do. I
from
have a note on
McNeese?
that actually. Let me pull that up. I'm pretty sure I have him. I forget which freshman. Yeah, Matt Albell. Obviously brought in the coach, like you said, but they got a freshman, Matt Albell, had 14, 6, 4, and 2 in their first game. He looks to be like a sneaky special freshman as well.
Six
I like
six.
NC State.
Yep.
NC State's. I think he has him at the 1 or 2. Lets him
Yeah,
bring the ball up the court,
yeah,
but they might be a team to watch in the ACC.
yeah. He's a good coach. I know he didn't have success at LSU a couple years
Mhm.
ago, but he's definitely came back to life there with McNeese and now at NC State.
Yep.
So
They had a
should
good
be
recruiting class, so
yeah.
I like
ACC
them.
will be a fun little conference for sure.
Yep.
Anything about the Big Ten?
Ohio State's on fraud watch. I have them on my fraud watch
Yeah.
as of the first week. They played. I actually have a note on them as well. They gave up 102 points to IUPUI. I couldn't even tell
What
you
is that?
what that college name is, but shout out to them for putting 102 on Ohio
Let's look at.
State, which Ohio State, not that they were going to be world beaters, but I'm pretty sure they were ranked in the top 25. You have Thornton returning. You have, I forget the shooting guard that they have, or their point guard that just is fun to watch. But
Let me
second
pull
game
it
of the,
there.
yeah,
You said Thornton. What about Mobley Jr.? Is that who you're
yeah,
thinking
Mobley
of?
Jr. Yep, Mobley Jr. is a fun guard to watch. He's like a little Steph Curry. Just you have to guard him within
Yeah.
half court, or he's going to shoot it.
That school's
Yeah,
called IU Indianapolis Jaguars. Wow.
yep. Shout out the Jags. Shout out the
Shout
Jags.
out to Jaguars
Whatever
there.
conference they're in, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah,
Win it all.
100%.
But
Michigan here sitting at
mhm.
Michigan. Where are they at? Where are they at?
Michigan's up high. I shout
They're
out Chad.
seventh. They're seventh.
Yeah, Michigan's got a good ball club this year. I do like watching Michigan, which is something I very rarely say. But shout out to boy Chad. Yaxel, whatever it is, the transfer from USF, I believe. He
USF.
is on the National Watch Player of the Year. He's going to be scary if he plays the way he's been playing Week 1 with Michigan. Also with the point guard transfer from North Carolina.
Yeah. Elliot Cadill.
I like it there. It's going to be a great team to watch. They're going to be competing in the national championship. I think, at least in the Final Four. That's just Michigan's going to have a great year this year.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there's a little conference preview for you
Mhm.
guys. Shep, do we got anything else here basketball wise?
That's what we can go talk about. I do want to talk about the other good game of the week, which was Michigan State,
Michigan
Michigan
State.
and Arkansas.
Let me pull that box score up. Who won that game?
Michigan State in a dogfight,
Wow.
which I do want to talk about. Arkansas obviously has the duo freshman with Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. I like those two a lot. Malik Thomas is a kid that's going to go out pure bucket getter. Watch him during that game. He had some crazy shots. I'm pretty sure he missed a wide open layup one time. Got his rebound, ran to the 3 point line, just shot a three, made it, which is
Wow.
something I love. Just
No, I hate that.
Darius Acuff is a great guard. He had a very quiet 20 points, but with that matchup, I think if Michigan State were to play at Arkansas, Arkansas would have won. Michigan State scares me this year. Tom Izzo, love him to death. He's a team you're going to sit down, play defense, and you're going to beat us. Just like I was saying earlier, their biggest thing is that they literally can't shoot at all. They have no one that can shoot beyond the arc, and
They
that
went
was
1 of 14 in this game. Wow.
can't shoot at all, and that scares me
Yeah.
because I always root for Michigan State. If Tom Izzo has to figure out something there, they have the best athlete in the country, and Cohen Carr, the kid is just
Yeah.
42-inch vertical freak of nature, little baby Zion. Shout
6'6",
out their freshman
230.
though.
Yeah.
Forget which their freshman recruit. He had a double double. I'm pretty sure he had 18 points and 10 rebounds. He's the reason they won that game. The reason they won that game was just physical. They just out physical Arkansas, and Arkansas missed a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Low scoring game, as most Michigan State games are. But
Cam
if
Ward
Michigan
is the
State,
freshman.
yeah, Cam Ward, shout out Cam Ward. Michigan State plays like that the rest of the year. They'll make the tournament. I don't. They'll probably do what they did last year and lose in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
But Arkansas, good old Calipari. I don't. He's got an interesting squad this year. Another reason they lost that game is because their center fouled out. He had 4 fouls early. Pretty sure he picked up his fourth. 12 minutes left in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
He's their main big guy. Obviously, you can't do that. He had one dumb fourth foul where he grabbed Michigan State's point guard.
Is it Trayvon
And,
Brazil?
yep, Brazil. He was getting chewed out all game. Then he threw a towel at a fan. Can't have
No
that.
way.
Yeah,
He
after
threw
the
a
game, he
towel at
threw
a
a towel
fan.
at a fan. Yep. He was kind of accidental stretching, but I would too if I was one of the best centers in the country and did nothing to help win a big matchup.
He's got to get suspended, right? You throw a towel at a fan. Wow.
He did it accidentally. You could see him kind of stretching out, and he kind of like let go, hit a fan. The fan grabbed it,
Oh, so
but
he thought he was slick.
he thought it was slick. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But if Tom Izzo gets that figured out, just like I would say with St. John's, I think they'll be fine. Calipari, I don't know how. Arkansas is a weird squad. I can't even describe how they are.
Yeah.
They'll
I feel
have
like
some
there's not
upsets this
really
year,
like
but
a lack of identity there.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. Any other games or anything else you want to go over basketball wise, or
now we can talk about the upcoming games this week if you want to.
okay?
Big
Yeah,
matchups.
we'll do a little preview here.
Mm-hmm. Go into the previews.
Let's see, what do we got?
I got them. I got the four big games. If you want me to
You
read
got
those
them?
off,
Okay. Yep,
yeah.
yep. You fire it away then.
So yeah, the I put the top five games throughout the week. Tuesday's matchups we have Louisville and Kentucky, like I was talking about. That's going to be a great game. Obviously, crosstown, always a good game. If I had to pick a winner in that one, I'm going to go Kentucky. Just 'cause Kentucky's reloaded. They got a senior guard, more talent wise than Louisville. Even though Louisville had a great recruiting class, Mikael Brown Jr. I'm really high on. Didn't have a great outing his first week, but I think he will be one of the top guards going into March. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a super close game, high scoring. If the over, whatever the over is, pick the over. But I'd have to pick Kentucky that game.
Why is that game getting played at the beginning of the year? I thought that was a game that's supposed to be played at the end of the year, huh?
Nope.
I'm gonna go
And then
Louisville though on that game.
well, I like that. I
I'm gonna
could go either
I'm
way.
gonna
Flip a
I'm gonna
coin.
take the home team in this one.
I like that. I think that's a great pick. It should be a sold out game. Other Tuesday game, which I think is going to be probably the game of the week, Texas Tech and Illinois. And we talked about Texas Tech, obviously, with JT Toppin, kid's elite power forward, probably one player of the year.
Yeah.
But you also got to shout out Illinois, all foreign squad. Shout out Cohen. Illinois is a scary team. Uh, I think they're the most underrated team in the country. They brought in multiple overseas players. They brought in California shooting guard Stojakovic Jr.
Yeah.
It's they are a fun team to watch if you watch them. They play just like overseas ball. They're going to be scary. If I had to pick a winner in that game, I'm going to lean more on Texas Tech's side, just because JT Toppin and Anderson, you got to stop them. That's two players that I don't know if Illinois can match up against physically. So
Yeah. All foreign squad, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with you on Texas Tech there because of JT Toppin there.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's just
But
he's on
yeah,
another planet. Another
yeah,
planet.
that kid, that's going to be the game of the week in my opinion. Then shout out Bama Thursday, Bama versus Purdue.
Yeah, come on now.
What are your what are your thoughts on that? What are
This
your
is
thoughts on
that
that?
this is at Coleman Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Coliseum there at Bama there. Um, it's definitely not the same Purdue team here
Yep,
that they have been the last couple weeks. I think Alabama wins this game, and I think we win it convincingly. I don't think this is going to be a close game like St. John's was. I Purdue's roster wise, like yeah, they still got the one guard.
Brandon,
What's his name?
Brandon,
Yeah, they got Braden Smith.
Brandon. Sorry.
How Fletcher Loyal still has eligibility is beyond me. That
Yep,
dude is
that's
that dude's
check him
40
out.
playing. He's 40 playing college
Mm-hmm.
basketball still. He's a very good football. I mean basketball player though, very good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna roll with Bama, of course. I'm always gonna roll with Bama. Purdue almost lost to who? Did they almost lose to Oakland.
Yep, and
Yep.
that's what I was going to talk
And
about. It just what you said is why I'm picking Bama. I'm a very Purdue this year scares me. Braden Smith, obviously, he is the best guard in the country as of right now. He's even with that Oakland really rough first half, he kicked in the second gear, the second half. I watched the second half of that game. He took over. If he plays like that, Purdue would be fine, but it's not the same Purdue teams you've seen in the past 2 years. They don't have
yeah,
their 7-3 guys. They don't. I know they do have one 7-3 kid
it's
that
very
is their center.
inexperienced though.
Yeah, very inexperienced, first year starting. So in this matchup, I'm definitely taking Bama.
Yeah, especially since it's at Bama.
Mhm.
I'm gonna roll with the Tide.
Yep. Then Friday we got Arizona versus UCLA. Now, if you want to talk about top guards in the country, I did just say Braden Smith is the top, which I do believe. And number two would have to be Donovan Dent out of UCLA. New Mexico State transfer. Kid is elite. He's pretty sure has 1,000 points, 500 assists in college as a D1 starter. I think he's top five in that category, which is very impressive out of Donovan Dent. Obviously, use UCLA's coach. It's UC guy. It's what's his name? I hate him.
Small,
That's why I don't.
small dude, real small,
Bald head. I know bald head.
bald
Look him
head.
up. What's his name?
I'm blanking on the name too. McCronin.
McCronin. That's who it is. Cronin. Hate Cronin, but you got to shout out Cronin. He's done pretty well at UCLA. He's had some good teams. Especially this year. It's probably one of his best UCLA squads with Donovan Dent.
Yeah.
So, but in this matchup, almost positive. Who's the home team in this one?
This is. Oh no! It says it's a Hall of Fame series game. So let me.
Oh, so it's going to be neutral court. If it's the Hall of Fame games, pretty
It's
sure.
Intuit Dome. I don't think
Yep.
that's UCLA's place. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Arizona in this one.
If you go, yeah, I want to pick Arizona. I'm really high on the card Pete Kid and Bradley. I think they're going to be a great team. I'm actually going to go UCLA on this one. I think Mick
All
Cronin's
right.
got the coaching advantage in this.
Okay.
I think he's got the matchup
Going
with Donovan
UCLA.
Dent. Donovan Dent, I don't think Bradley's going to be able to guard Donovan Dent. So I think he's going to have a fantastic game. He's going to prove why he should be the number one point guard in the country.
Okay. Rolling with the Bruins. Any other games?
And then Houston Auburn. I just want to shout that one on Sunday. I think Houston is going to obliterate Auburn. I think Houston's got what Auburn doesn't have. All seniors, all senior lineup besides their center, bigger, stronger, more athletic. They're just going to shut Auburn down. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go. This is another one of those. It's the battleground 2K25. So
mm,
this is not. This is a neutral site game. He's going Houston. I'm not gonna go Houston. I'm gonna go Auburn here. I think Stephen Pearl there and Todd Pettiford. I think they have a very explosive offensive game here. I think Auburn. I think Auburn blows them out. Maybe not.
that's,
Maybe that's not the right term, but I think they
but it's
win
crazy.
convincingly. I
Okay.
think they get a win convincingly. I just don't see Houston offense being that big of a threat at all.
I just think Houston's going to be out physical and make them play their game. Not to say Houston will blow them out, but I think Houston's going to win.
Yeah,
If anything, I'll take the under on that game.
that probably is a good under bet. Yeah. Anything else, Shep?
I think that wraps up week one. Obviously, we can talk for days about it, but that matches up
Okay.
what I
So
got on my notes.
we'll probably be back Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday is going to be a big college football preview there. I think Shep will be there for that. Shep, do you think you'll be there?
Yeah, I'll make a shout out now. I watch more college football this week. It's my bad on the college football this week. I was focused on all basketball, trying to get it all figured out because
Rightfully so.
I do
You're a
the
college
basketball.
basketball
Yeah,
expert. You're
but
the
yeah,
expert.
I'll
That's
help
your
out more on
side
the
of it.
football side.
But yeah, we'll be back either Thursday, Friday preview, and then um, you think we'll do a recap with basketball from these games?
Yeah, definitely Sunday. We'll do a little recap of everything, just like we did today.
Okay.
So
So we'll wait till Sunday to do the recap. So yeah, just Thursday, Friday. It'll just be a football only their preview. Um, anything to add, Shep?
no, I think it's
No.
great week one of basketball, a great week 11 for college football.
Yeah, all around good stuff. Um, so we'll leave you on that, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be smart, be safe, and we'll see you later.